Hey everyone, it's Niall and Tomas from niallpoints.com, and we are back with what is already our third podcast. And in this episode, we are going to attempt at guessing, and I want to emphasize the word guessing because we have no clue what's going to happen in May whatsoever, but we are going to attempt at guessing which will be the 10 countries advancing to the grand final on Saturday of Eurovision 2024. We had a blast doing them for semifinal one, but it was difficult. We did need a little discussion before we started the episode so that we could do it properly. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited for semifinal two for a couple of reasons. We obviously have my own country, Belgium, competing in this one, so I'm very excited for this one. Um, but yeah, let's go over our qualifiers, and I want to make it clear that we're going to start this video with our predicted qualifiers. This is not who we want to go through. We'll get to that towards the end of the video, like we did with the semifinal one episode. But yeah, let's start with you, Neil. Who are your qualifiers? Which are you certain about? Which are you not certain about? Who's not going through? Tell us.
Okay, so certain for me is first of all Switzerland. I think there's no chance Nemo isn't qualifying with that vocal.
Yeah.
Nope. I would be shocked if it didn't do well. I know it's televote, so that's a little bit different, but I still think the song is fun enough and captivating enough and emotional enough, personal, to really capture people at home. So I think they will still be able to vote for it pretty easily. In terms of, I think I've got three other certains. So Belgium. Now, we know there's been some potential vocal issues. And recently we saw a telethon performance recently, and we need a little bit more consistent with the vocals, but it's a really good song. I think especially that last minute is really going to hit people, and I think it's in a decent place in the running order as well. And then Norway, I think that is very different for this year's entry for them, and I think they're one of the very few rock and traditional fusions that are going on. We've got a lot of dance and traditional, and there's a little bit other types of rock, with Bambi for etc. But I think in this semi-final, in terms of rock, this really stands out, and it's such a good performance with a brilliant vocal, and if they keep that staging, just mesmerizing to watch. So I think this will do extremely well. We've also got the Netherlands. Like, Joost Klein has taken over. Let's be honest. He's been with Duolingo. he's been with Carrier as well recently. I think he is really taken over with a lot of fans. Is it my personal favorite? No. Do I enjoy it? Yes, but I don't see any way, especially closing the show, I don't see any way where this won't qualify. So I think those are my four certains. So Switzerland, Belgium, Norway, and Netherlands. Thomas, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all four of those are no-brainers. I do I hear the comments about Musti's vocals, and I do agree with him. He hasn't been the most consistent, but I think he has proven on several occasions that he does have the ability to sing the song and hit the high notes. We've seen it in, I think Barcelona was the first pre-party. Madrid was fine as well. I think London was the one that sort of where he sounded really off. I don't know how much we can, how much for granted we can take his explanation. He did say in an interview that he couldn't hear himself throughout the performance. He was also sick, very exhausted. I think when we were in Amsterdam, they even called him away at the press event because he needed to go rest, to let his voice rest. So he's obviously been doing a lot of promo. I did think he sounded a lot better again in The Voice. He did the performance in The Voice. It was a little pitchy here and there, but it's a televote semi, so I don't really see any issues with that. I think the most important thing for him vocally is going to be to nail it on Friday night, which is when he'll be performing, or when all of them will be performing for the juries. Yeah, but I see no issues for that. So yeah, my definite qualifiers. So Belgium, obviously, Switzerland is in there. I feel like as much as Ireland has like a huge staging potential in semi-final one, I feel like Switzerland is the one that I'm most looking forward to in terms of staging, like what they're going to do, because I feel like they as well can go all out. There's so much to do. There's so much that they can grab from the music video and implement that in the staging in Malmö. So I'm super excited to see that. But yeah, no issue for them. They're definitely qualifying. Netherlands is obviously definitely qualifying. Like you said, especially closing the show. It's going to be a party. We could already see in Amsterdam the anticipation, because everybody already kind of knew, like, okay, Joost Klein is probably going to finish the concert in Amsterdam, since he is on home soil. And you could feel the whole night people were sort of like waiting for that moment for him to come on. And I think it's going to be just the same in Malmö. What have I not mentioned? Norway, definitely no-brainer. And I feel like Norway, I think we said this in our second episode when we did the debrief of Eurovision in concert in Amsterdam. Norway is sort of slept on.
Yeah.
It has been slept on for a couple of weeks now, and I don't really understand why. Like, it is, in my eyes, an obvious front runner, an obvious contender. I'm not saying that in the end they will take it, because I don't think it is as locked this year as it is other years. It's very open, but they are definitely contending with that staging, with that vocal. I cannot see it not coming top 5 almost. Like, because I feel like people are probably going to catch up with Norway again once the rehearsals start. So that one is definitely in, and then it does get a little bit tricky. I want to add another one that I'm fairly confident about, which is Greece.
Okay.
We have obviously not seen a live performance yet. I know that there was a sort of a live performance in the farewell party in Greece, I think.
It wasn't the best quality video.
No.
So yeah, I can't really judge on that.
And it was quite literally a party. Like, she was not on stage alone. She was on stage with a bunch of people dancing around her. And I don't think they were part of an act. I think it was just an actual party, and she was just singing her song. So it's hard to tell what she's going to be doing live. But I feel like there's a lot of hype for Greece. It's been climbing in the odds. It's been climbing in the polls as well. So I want to add that one. So yeah, what have I said? Belgium, Switzerland, Netherlands, Norway, and Greece. I think those are. I do, and this is where I'm torn. I kind of want to add Israel as well, because I do feel like, as much as we don't want them there this year, I feel like it just looks and sounds like an obvious qualifier to me.
I think my question mark around Israel is whether or not people will vote for it. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who are pro-Israeli who will vote for it, but is that going to be enough? We saw in 2021 with Set Me Free. That was a very popular song in terms of production. It wasn't performed the best on the night, so I will preface what I'm saying with that. But also there was conflict going on quite big in 2021 as well, not as severe as it is now, and they didn't qualify. And I do remember seeing a lot of tweets regarding
They didn't. I think they did qualify though. Israel qualified though.
Did they?
I think so. I think they were in the final.
Right. This is where we need to fact check ourselves.
I think she qualified. Yeah. Because I think I remember saying, "Oh
my God, she did."
Yeah, she sounded better in the final. I remember thinking, "Oh, this is better than the semi."
Why did I think she hadn't qualified?
Maybe because you sort of erased it from
Maybe
your memories.
I genuinely, Christ, I remember. Oh, honestly, my memory goes okay. Scratch everything I just said, Len. Israel are qualifying. Oh, you know what? We do our best. There's so much to try and remember that it's really difficult sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, so I've only heard snippets of Hurricane, so I can't give any opinion based on the actual song. From the snippets I have heard, yeah, I can see it doing somewhat well. It all just depends on the audience and the performance, I guess. So I still have a question mark over that personally, just because I don't know the song. I was watching them before we went to Amsterdam. I was telling you I was watching the recap of all 37 songs that Eurovision put out, and halfway through I was like, "What's this song?" Because I hadn't listened to it. But no, that's. I think we all agree that they're the big question mark this year. In terms of countries that I don't think are going to qualify, Albania. And it's a real shame. I really like Bessa, and I really enjoyed the original track from Fick. There's just something about this revamp that doesn't work for me. I don't know if it's too many styles in one, because it does feel quite choppy in some places. It's not bad. It just doesn't excite me as much as the original did. So I'm not sure how that's going to go down, but I struggle to see how that qualifies.
I think, you know what it is with Albania? I sort of feel as if she's kind of been bullied into doing a revamp, given the reactions online when she won Festivali Këngës. I mean, we should explain she did not actually win Festivali Këngës. She won the public vote, which earned her the right to represent Albania.
Yeah,
but she did win the public vote. But I feel like a lot of people online, especially on Twitter, because she's pretty active on Twitter, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I think she's sort of been bullied into changing the song, which I didn't think was necessary. I've always been an advocate for countries sending a song in their own native language, even though Belgium has 3 languages, and it's been, last time was like 2005, I think, and we've been sending English all the time, or imaginary languages. But I just also think that Albanian is a beautiful language. So it's kind of sad that she changed that. I don't mind the revamp in itself, sonically, like musically. I don't mind the revamp. I think it sounds a little bit more coherent than the original did. For me, it's just the language. I wish it would have stayed in Albanian, because it just felt more genuine. Now it just feels more like a manufactured pop song.
Yeah,
I still enjoy it when it comes on. I'm not skipping it. So, if you're watching, I still like your song. I really do. But for me, this revamp was not, or at least not the change of language was not necessary.
Yeah. I agree with that. So unfortunately, Albania, I don't see qualifying. Latvia, I've got question marks over. But I think the other really non-starter is probably San Marino, which is a shame because I do really love Megara. This song is a lot of fun. I just don't see how it will translate into votes, especially when you compare what has qualified for San Marino. I last year, I'm probably one of the only people who did enjoy Peak Jacks last year.
I loved Peak Jacks.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic song, and that did abysmally.
Yeah.
So I just don't see it. This is better than Peak Jacks, but
it's better produced, I think. And it's better produced, and I think there's more potential, especially staging wise. I just fear for San Marino that they're going to make it too chaotic.
Yeah.
I think which is also what they did in was it 2022? With like the bull, what's his name again? I forget his name.
Oh, actually,
Achille Lauro. Is that 2022?
Yes.
I think that was 2022. I feel like Achille Lauro's song actually had potential, but I feel like they went so overly camp with that performance, and I think that that's what killed their chances of qualifying that year. And I fear that they might do something similar this year. So I hope that Megara have more of like a more thoughtful staging, something that fits the type of song that it is, because it is a rock song first and foremost with a good beat. But I feel like the staging that we sort of got in San Remo was not it. I mean, obviously we don't get a lot of staging at San Remo. Period.
There's no room.
Yeah, there's no room. But
no budget.
The amount of staging that we got already sort of felt chaotic and sort of all over the place for me. So I hope that they're gonna, stage it more thoughtfully in the final. But even then, I do agree. I don't really see a big chance for them to make it.
And then it gets really difficult. So the question marks that I really have this year for semi-final 2, Malta, Greece. I know you said it's probably higher up the list of question marks I've got. But Greece, Czechia, Austria, Denmark, Armenia, Latvia, and Georgia, Estonia, and Israel, as I say. So there's so many question marks. Estonia, I think, will qualify. I really want Malta to qualify. I really, really want Malta to qualify. I think it's one of the best girl bops we've got this year. It's so much fun. It's just got a really good hook that it just easily gets stuck in your head. I used it for music on one of our Instagram posts recently, and I keep just going back to that Instagram post just to listen to the "Oh my God, you got me!" It's fun. But I think it's going to narrowly miss out. If I had to fully go through this list and guess which 10 would qualify, I think that I would say Greece, Switzerland, Austria. How many did I say? Greece,
3,
Switzerland, Austria, Denmark, Armenia, Belgium, Estonia, Israel, Norway, Netherlands. I think, unfortunately, we might lose Georgia again, which is a shame because vocally she's fantastic. I think we said she was our surprise of Amsterdam.
Yeah, she definitely was. Yeah,
and it was a really good performance. I just don't know.
I mean, I have said this before, but Georgia do have the advantage of having Armenia in the semifinal voting for them. So I really cannot see the televote 12 from Armenia not going to Georgia. I can't see that happening, which basically already gives them a 12-point advantage over the others. So it doesn't make them a certain qualifier, but I don't know if we're going to lose them.
I think really some of the final spots are really in contention the most. I think are probably Malta, Austria, Estonia, and Georgia. I think they're the ones really competing. I can't see Latvia's a big question mark, but I can't see it. It could, but
I mean, they all could, but in a televote only semi.
Yeah, and in between Armenia and San Marino was not an ideal position for a song like Hollow. I think, as I say, I think Denmark will qualify. I think it's just a really good song. Sung really well. Even with simple staging that we got at Dansk Melodi Grand Prix, it looked great. Yeah, I don't see any issue with that. But yeah, I'm not sure on Czechia. I love Aiko. She was lovely to meet, and she was sounding a lot better at Amsterdam. There was a few issues, but there's bits about the song that really I don't see it translating into votes. But this is Czechia we're talking about. Their staging in the last few years, we know, has been absolutely insane. So if they can keep that momentum up, potentially. But for me, where this song really sort of crashes out is the bridge. I really don't like. I feel like it's interrupting the song more than it is adding to the song. Kind of wish they just kept the original, and I think it would be a bit higher. But yeah, I think the other one I said, Armenia. I think we keep forgetting about Armenia because they've not really been at any of the pre-parties so much.
They've been at one, I think.
They were at one, and then when Amsterdam was on, they were in Canada. Of all places to be doing a tour, the month before Eurovision, they were in Canada. But I just, it's so much fun, and that could potentially be that could be a problem for Estonia, actually, that's so much fun. It's not necessarily similar, but I think
it could appeal to the same demographic, I think.
Yeah.
That might be an issue.
Armenia issues knocks it out of the park compared to Estonia. Now, Estonia is great fun. I know it's your second favourite song of the whole contest at the moment. It is. But it's one of those. It's great. It's fun. It will get votes. It's just whether or not it gets enough compared to some of the. I think there's going to be a bit of split voting. Like some acts are splitting. They're going to be splitting votes, and it just depends which way the scale falls. You can't really tell at the moment where it's going to go, and it's stressful a little bit. Like I think even semi one was stressful enough, and I think this one's even tougher to call.
That's what I said in our semi one prediction episode. Is that for me, it's not just the tougher one; it's also the better semi, in my opinion. My favorites are in this one, apart from Croatia. It's almost my entire top 5 is almost in this semi. So, yeah. I mean, the thing for me. Wait. So before I move on, who are your 10 predicted qualifiers then? Because you've been all over the place the last.
No,
10.
I named them. I named all 10 of them. I named them. So
just
Greece, Switzerland, Austria, Denmark, Armenia, Belgium, Estonia, Israel, Norway, Netherlands. And that's the exact same as I said before.
Yeah, I forgot you already said them. Yeah.
Do you agree with that, or do you have a different opinion?
Sorry, I'm completely blank. Did you have Austria in there?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. Even you don't remember.
1 second. Let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I sort of agree. So the ones for me, so I already had Belgium, Switzerland, Netherlands, Norway, and I added Greece as like my 5th, where I'm pretty confident that that's going to make it. So that leaves 5 spots. If I'm thinking countries that are not going to make it, I do feel like it's the same that you have. So it's Albania, San Marino, and unfortunately Latvia. Latvia I actually had higher in my personal top until a while ago, and then it sort of went down. With seeing others live and sort of connecting with them, it just went down a little bit. The ones that I'm on the fence about, and I will say some of them have a bigger shot, in my opinion, of making it than others, but the ones that I'm on the fence about are Estonia, Armenia, Denmark, Austria, Georgia, Czechia, Malta, and that leaves Israel. But Israel is such a tricky one this year because I feel like, from what I've heard from the song, it does sound like a well-produced ballad that would normally do well at Eurovision. We know that they can stage. Is she going to deliver vocally? I don't know. I assume she can sing. If not, why are you using her?
We don't know.
Such a hard one, because I'm kind of like, I'm thinking back of when Ukraine got that massive televote score in 2022. Was it? Obviously, I don't think it's going to get that massive, that big of a televote score as Ukraine did. The public opinion towards them is obviously not as positive as it was for Ukraine, but I do feel like they still have a lot of support.
Yeah.
So I fear that we're going to get it in the final. I really do. So out of the ones that I'm on the fence about, I feel like that one could potentially be the upset qualifier. Who's left? I feel like Austria, and this is another tricky one. Austria sort of sounds like an obvious qualifier, but I feel like in this semifinal, in this lineup, if you would ask me to name one country that would be the shock non-qualifier, I'd say Austria. Because I just feel like if there's one country that has the potential of being a disaster on stage, it would be Austria. I feel like that song could completely fall flat with staging, depending on what she's going to bring.
If she brings the men from her music video, I think she's fine.
Yeah, but even then, she also didn't sound 100% good in Amsterdam. There were, she wasn't pitch perfect throughout the performance, and it's really not a tricky song to sing. So if she does too much dancing and too little singing, like, that could potentially be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like it is a song. She does need those dancers to sort of make it pop and to sort of fill that stage, because it's a huge stage. This is not the kind of song that you want to have close-ups of her face the whole time. You do want to have some stage shots with cool backdrops, with dancers, with fireworks, or whatever they need to make it appealing. But if she does end up being alone, then this could be an actual car crash.
I don't see her being alone on stage. I really can't.
Yeah. Or maybe it's also just the fact that Austria did sort of like ruin their own chances last year. I feel like, Edgar Allan Poe, that had such huge staging potential, and then we basically got the blandest possible staging they could have come up with, in my opinion. I did not like that staging at all. It was just empty. And then you had those like huge arena shots,
mm-hmm.
and it was just sort of like them standing there. And I think they did have like 2 backing dancers or something, which
I think they had 4
or 4, yeah. But I don't even remember them. So that's how, in my opinion, how poor the staging was. So maybe that's also a reason as to why I'm worried for Austria. But song-wise, studio cut, definitely qualifier. Staging-wise, I don't know. Georgia, I don't fear for as much. I do, like, for reasons that I just mentioned, I do think that they will get the 12 from Armenia, which gives them a little bit of an advantage. And I just think that we know that she sounds great vocally. She's delivered in every single pre-party. And I think that Georgia are going to go all out with staging. I
hope so.
They're probably going to have fire. They're going to have a load of backing dancers with her. So I'm not really that worried. They're not a certain qualifier, but I think that they do have like a 70% chance of qualifying, I think. And then who does that leave? Armenia is a big question mark. Again, really love that song. It's in my top 5. But I feel like there's no buzz for it at all. And I know that we're in a bubble, right? Especially on Twitter. We sort of feel like we're the center of Eurovision universe, but we're not. We're just a tiny group of people talking about this. But I feel like there's no buzz for it at all. People are sort of like sleeping on it. So that does make me worry. Like, do people just not like the song, or is it because we've not really seen any live performances of it, or not, or just the one? I feel like they did sort of like get the crowd going.
Yeah.
At the pre-party that they were at. I don't remember which one it was.
I think it was Barcelona.
Was it Barcelona? It's possible.
It was one. It was. I'm sure. I know
It
it was
wasn't
one of the
Madrid,
Spanish
but
ones.
yeah. Or actually, what was the first one?
I can't remember the order of them, but it was definitely one of the Spanish ones.
Yeah.
And obviously they're not the biggest ones. They're in fairly smaller clubs, compared to Eurovision and concert, etc. Yeah. I do think as we come into rehearsals starting very soon, I think that's when, similar to Norway, we might hear a bit more buzz around this. It just depends what we get to see, because obviously our the rehearsals are going to be through TikTok again, so it depends how much we actually get to see of those.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like it just seems like a lot of fun. So in a televote only semi, I sort of expect it to go through.
Yes.
But I'm definitely not 100% sure of it. Denmark, I fear for Denmark.
Don't say that. I love it.
I love it too. I have it in my top 10. It's one of my favorite songs, but I genuinely do fear for it not qualifying. I feel like Denmark have had arguably better songs, or at least more original songs in the past that didn't qualify. And that's what sort of worries me, because it is such a strong year. I don't know. I will be devastated if it doesn't make it, but I'm also kind of preparing myself for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel Denmark is very 50-50 for me. It really depends on the mood of the people watching. I feel like I feel like it's not a standout song. It might get lost in all the violence, because you do have Estonia there, you have Switzerland there, you have Belgium there, you have the Netherlands there, you have Armenia there, Greece, Georgia. We're all bringing fire and lots of stuff happening, and then Denmark sort of feels tame in that lineup. Even though I love the song, I sort of fear that it's going to be forgotten a little bit.
Have you chosen your 10 predictions then?
No. So let me just go over the list, right? I'm gonna go with Belgium, Switzerland, Netherlands, Greece, Norway. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna put Israel in there. And remember, this is my prediction. It's not my personal top 10. Don't shoot me, but I think Israel's gonna be there. I'm gonna go with Georgia, Armenia, and that leaves 2 spots.
That's where we're getting tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh shit. Have I said Austria? I'm gonna go with Austria. I'm gonna give Austria the benefit of the doubt, and let's just imagine that they have good staging. Then that song definitely deserves to go through. So Austria, and then it's really between Estonia, Denmark, and Malta. I'm gonna go with Estonia.
Okay. We are finding it tough. Really are.
Yeah. I feel like much tougher than semi one to predict. I feel like that one was sort of easier.
Oh, and I was sweating trying to figure out who was qualifying in semi one. Like it's such a difficult year that, Christ, I don't know. It could be anyone. But we'll do our favourites, and we'll do it again from 10th. So let's take a look. So let's go for. Okay, I'm in 10th. I'm going to put San Marino. I do really love it. I do think it's fantastic. Next up, Georgia. I'm going to follow Georgia with Malta.
I was going to say drum roll.
I want to pull it higher. I'm struggling to be able to pull it. I love it, but I'm struggling to be able to pull it higher. Just with the caliber of songs here, it's just it's unreal, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so Malta in 7th. Okay, so 6th. I'm going to go for Netherlands in 6th. Again, similar to Croatia, I do love it, but it's not my favourite. Then I'm going to go Armenia, Denmark. So that leaves me with my top 3, right? Yeah. Okay. I don't know which order to put these in. But currently for me and Tomas, please continue to be my friend. Belgium's going in 3rd. I think Norway are climbing in my personal ranking there. So I'm putting Belgium 3rd, Norway 2nd, and Switzerland in 1st. Like there's absolutely no way that I could choose any other song in my 1st place. It's just magnificent, and those videos we've seen with Musti are really causing some doubt in my head over how good it's going to be. I do really enjoy the song, but obviously this is going to be based on the live performance for many of these songs getting the chance to qualify. So I've got a little bit of doubt in my head, but we will see, I guess. Do you disagree? Do you agree?
Sort of agree on some, I suppose. I mean, there's only 6 countries not making it, so it's not like we can disagree hugely. I think, okay, in my 10th place, I have Georgia, which I would not have had as a qualifier before, but it has gone up. In 9th place, and this is going to contradict what I said earlier in the video when I said that I see them as a contender, but that's just the potential that I see in them. But personally, I have Norway 9th.
Interesting.
Just because
that's quite low for you.
Yeah, but I have said this before, is that like on a personal level, even though I appreciate the live version, I really thought that, as well in MGP as in Amsterdam when we saw it live in the hall, I really think it's very impressive. But sonically, just the song in itself, I never listened to it ever. I don't have it on my playlist. I don't listen to it. It's just I enjoy it when it comes on, with the visual aspect and just her vocal being so impressive. But that's about it. But again, I do see it as a contender to win. So don't hate me because I don't love it. I don't hate it either. I like it. I just don't love it. In 8th place, I have Greece. In 7th place, Austria, which again feels kind of low, but
it's difficult.
I just do think that there's so many other songs that have grown on me. In 6th place, the Netherlands. And this is sort of like with Austria and Netherlands, that's sort of where the songs start that I do listen to, like almost on a daily basis. So I do listen to Austria a lot. I do listen to the Netherlands a lot. In 5th place, I have Denmark. It's just such a beautiful song. I just love everything about it, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they have good staging and they make it. But I really fear for it. In 4th place, Armenia. This is just so much fun. Like I remember smiling from start to finish when we reacted to that song in our video. In 3rd place, I have Switzerland, which has come a long way for me. I did not like it first time I heard it, but it has grown on me a lot. The live, like you said, is just insanely good. Their vocal is just perfect. and they were so sweet, which probably also helps
Yeah.
as to why it's been climbing.
We're not above a little bit of personal opinion on people improving our chances. How we think their chances are.
It does help. If
it does
the
factor.
person is super nice, it makes you like the song even more. In second place, I have Estonia.
I wonder who he's got in first, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, I know I'm super biased, but Belgium is my favorite. It's also my favorite of the year. If I don't like, sometimes when people ask me my favorite, I say Estonia because I feel like I can't vote for Belgium anyway. I can't vote for Musti, unfortunately. So, but it is my favorite song. I just think it's just so beautiful. I love the build up in the song. It's just phenomenal. The last minute just gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it, and I've listened to it a lot of times, and it still happens every single time.
Is that because you can hear yourself?
I don't think anyone can hear themselves, but I am on the track. So if he wins Eurovision, I am technically a Eurovision winner. So vote for me. No, I know I'm super biased, but I don't tend to put Belgium in my first place unless I really think it's the best song. The last time that happened was in 2017 with Blanche. So it's not just bias. I just really think, and a lot of people agree with me. A lot of people really love this song. It's doing well in the polls for a reason. So, and again, about the vocal thing, I think he has proven on several occasions that he can nail the song. So it's going to depend on what he does on the night.
Yeah.
If he because he is a little bit inconsistent. So
we still love you.
If he does it, I don't know. That's my Siri. Just basically, I didn't ask anyone about Avi.
What's she giving you?
Said there's no one in my contact list with the name Avi. I didn't ask for Avi. Weird stuff happens when we record.
Yeah, this is probably the calmest recording we've had in a little bit of time, to be honest. Both dogs have been behaved. I don't know if the microphone is picking up Benny snoring in the background, but he's asleep.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Oh, okay. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll pick him up. But yeah, that's. I think that's a good top 10. It's just a difficult one because honestly, out of these 16 songs, I could put through 14 easily.
Yeah.
And just be and call it a day because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think it's a great lineup, and I do think that Thursday night is going to be absolutely insane, or Wednesday evening for us.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a fantastic show. This is getting me really excited because it's 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away now, guys.
Yeah, it's insane.
How? Less than 2 weeks, or just in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks we leave.
In 2 weeks, yeah. Because I saw someone on Twitter the other day saying, "Oh, in just about 3.5 weeks, Eurovision 2024 is going to be over," and I'm like, "Fuck."
The post Eurovision depression this year, I think, is going to be real. But there, that's our predictions and our personal top 10s. So do you agree with us? Let us know. As always, you can like and subscribe on YouTube, but now you can subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts, or I think that's everywhere we are. I don't know if that picks up anywhere else, but if we're not where you get your podcast, let us know and we'll see what we can do. You can also go to niallpoints.com and Niall Poit blog on Twitter and Instagram. We do post everything on there eventually. We're getting better at it. We're getting there. And you can follow me, Niall Poit, on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can follow me at Paidatomrehuya on Twitter and Instagram.
And we will see you for the next episode at some point very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.